made On Ridgeway Sports Podcast, episode 63. Hunter and Keister back with
K-Mac. Let's get it. Let's go.
And we are back with another week in sports, going to talk in the college ranks, in the professional football ranks, and then finish off with some NFL news and what's happened in the week as the offseason is slowly starting, as there's obviously only one game left, the Super Bowl. That will happen next weekend. And other than that, it's offseason for everybody else. So there was some exciting news that we'll talk about at the end of the NFL. But to start it off, I wanted to just cover the college basketball and college hockey and just give updates on that. So we will start with college basketball. And I wanted to start, before we even get into any of these games that happened, with the standings. So, Carl, I have it pulled up. Where do you think Michigan sits? If you just had to take a wild guess, where do you think Michigan sits in the Big Ten standings right now?
I'm going to go with 4.
4?
4th.
So, Michigan is technically in 3rd, but there is a 5-way tie at 7-5 conference record, and there's a 4-way tie at 16-7. Iowa's at 15-8, and Michigan's at 13-10. So they sit at 7th. But that's not bad. They get a big win over Ohio State, as they have plummeted. They started 2-0 in conference play and 1-8 since then. Yeah, they're down there. They did not look good. But yeah, that's the Big Ten standings. And let's get into what's happened over the last few weeks. So we'll just go from like the start of February. Alright, so Purdue played Penn State, whooped them 80-60. Rutgers whoops Minnesota. Jeez, Minnesota is terrible too. 90-55. Thursday, February 2nd, Ohio State loses to Wisconsin, keeping their losing streak going. Michigan plays Northwestern. They beat them pretty handedly. Saturday, February 4th, Purdue loses to Indiana by 5. Rivalry game, but the 21-ranked Indiana Hoosiers take out Purdue, who I believe was ranked 2 at the time. Rutgers plays Michigan State, and Rutgers wins 61-55. Iowa plays Illinois, and Iowa gets the close home win 81-79. And Maryland plays Minnesota, and this time they score 46 in a loss 81-46 to Maryland. Minnesota might be one of the worst basketball teams I've ever seen. And obviously Sunday, February 5th, we'll talk about the game that happened earlier today. Michigan 77, Ohio State 69, final from Ann Arbor, as Michigan picks up the much-needed win if they want to try to make anything of their season.
Yeah.
Ohio State's coach is on the really hot seat right now. There's real legitimate talks about him getting fired, and they're just going down the toilet fast this season. They are just, though, after what I watched today, I mean, they're both not great, but whew. Let's talk about Michigan, and it has to start with Hunter Dickinson. I mean, these are just the type of games that you just want to see more of, and it makes you really like, it shows you his potential, it really does. Dickinson puts in 26 points, 37 minutes played, 10 of 15 from the field, all of 1 from 3, 6 of 9 from the free throw line, which is really good. He puts in 11 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 blocks.
The double-double.
Double-double. Leads the team in points, leads the team in rebounds, and, we get a win. Jett Howard, 34 minutes. He started off shooting pretty well. He finished 5 of 12, so definitely would like to see him shoot a lot better. 2 of 7 from 3, 4 of 4 from the free throw line. Michigan shot 13 of 18 as a team from the free throw line. So those struggle woes that we saw weren't really the case today, which was nice. Jet puts in 2 rebounds, 1 assist. Kobe Buffkin, 35 minutes, 13 points, 5 of 10, 2 of 4 from 3, 1 of 2 from line, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 block, 1 steal. So Kobe Buffkin really got his stats in. Doug McDaniel plays 37 minutes. That's the Achilles heel for Michigan. 5 of 10 isn't bad, but your other guard 3 of 10. Like you're just not gonna win important games when you're getting 8 points, 3 of 10 shooting. I know he's a freshman, but it's just like it's what the Achilles heel is for Michigan this year, man. It's just
hard to win with that.
Yeah. And then Terrence Williams still playing 32 minutes. He gets 6 points, 2 of 5 shooting. I just don't know how you justify him still being a starter. I really don't. It's crazy. Joey Baker, I think he's showing so much more potential and flashes. He plays 16 minutes, puts in 8 points on 3 of 5 shooting, 2 of 4 from the 3-point line. He also adds in 3 rebounds, and that's all for him. T-Will, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, and a steal. So he didn't play the worst, but you see, like, for a guy that's starting, you'd want a little bit more, right?
Honestly.
And then Jace just filled out the minutes. Terrence Reed filled out the minutes, and that was it for Michigan. They get the big win. Let's look at Ohio State quickly, see what went wrong. Their bright side in this game had to have been Bruce Thornton, who really made some really difficult baskets, some really difficult fade shots. He ended up with 22 points on 10 of 13 shooting. 2 of 3 from the 3-point line. 1 rebound, 1 assist, 2 steals. He played really well. Led Ohio State obviously all day and really kept that minute. Made this game close. Justice suing. I was talking to my cousins on my mom's side of the family, and they're big Ohio State fans, and they were telling me how suing was just supposed to be a lot, and he hasn't really shown a whole lot of anything thus far for them. He scores 14 points on 5 of 12 shooting, 1 of 3 3-point line. He puts in 5 rebounds. That's not bad. Zed Key is another guard. He goes 3 of 7, 6 points. They just didn't get a lot out of their starters.
No.
6 points, 5 points, 2 points. 25 minutes played, 31 minutes played, 13 minutes played. It's just like, you won't win like that.
No.
Shooting like that.
Can't do it.
5 of 16 from the 3-point line is going to kill you because, you see nights like that from Michigan way too often, And on a day like today, they finally found a way to get those shots to fall, and Ohio State didn't. And, I think that was the big difference in this one.
Biggest difference for sure.
Big difference. But Michigan desperately needs this win. This kind of keeps them afloat. I don't want to say their season's alive because they still did so much to kill it already, but it's not
hanging in by a thread.
Yeah, it's not dead. They would have to go on a pretty solid run, but it's not dead. And beating a rival on your home floor is a good way to start it off. So let's see what Michigan can do. I believe their next game is probably Tuesday or Wednesday would make sense.
They play Wednesday. Wednesday at 6:30.
They play Wednesday night? Okay.
Yeah, against Nebraska.
Nice. Need that one then for sure.
That's an absolute must win.
Right, if you want to stay alive. We'll move over to the college ranks in hockey as we'll go from start of February. Michigan series with Wisconsin started with a 6-2 win in Ann Arbor for the Wolverines. Kicks off the weekend nicely. Ohio State, Penn State. This is a big matchup. They started off the weekend. 2 of the top teams in the Big Ten, Penn State, Ohio State. And Penn State picked up the big 4-3 win in Columbus. Michigan State, Notre Dame. another big time, two really good teams in the Big Ten this season. Michigan State picks up a 3-0 win in East Lansing, setting us up for Saturday. Notre Dame, Michigan State. Michigan State wins again, this time in 3-2 fashion. Penn State, Ohio State. Ohio State gets their revenge, 4-2 over Penn State. And Michigan puts in, I believe they scored 5 in the first period, Cart. I turned this game on. I was going to Martin's at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm driving over there. I turned this game on. I think within the first couple minutes they had 3 goals scored. From the time that I even got the game put up on my phone, it was when I put it up on my phone, they were scoring the 3rd goal. And I'm like, well, geez. So they actually made it kind of close to have it be 7-4, but Michigan is definitely starting to hit a really good stride at the right time. Right now they're projected to be one of the last 1 seeds in the NCAA tournament, and they just got to find a way to keep it rolling. Their next series is Friday and Saturday. They play Friday night in East Lansing against Michigan State, and Saturday they play the Duel of the D. It's in the Little Caesar Arena where the Red Wings play.
Oh wow!
And so that'll be a really exciting game. And I will be. My dad got tickets for that last night, so he did that out of nowhere. So I'll be at that game. That'll be fun. But that's pretty much it for hockey. We got that to look forward to. We got a Ohio State Notre Dame series as both those teams are fighting for Big Ten hockey, supremacy and standing wise. And then we also have a series with Wisconsin and Minnesota Friday and Saturday in Madison, Wisconsin. And to finish out the hockey, I'll talk about these standings. So Michigan, with their successful weekend, jumps to 2nd place. They are in a 4-way tie right now. Can you believe that, Kurt?
Oh my gosh.
4-way, just the ties in basketball and now hockey. 4-way tie for 2nd place. There is Michigan is in 2nd place. They have 30 points, 10-8. Ohio State's 30 points, 10-8. Penn State's 30 points, 9-10-1. Michigan State's 30 points, 9-9-2. And it's a big mess. And then Notre Dame's only 4 points behind them, so they get a successful weekend. They're right back in it. So it is a big mess in the Big Ten, and a lot of these teams are going to be pretty high seeds in the NCAA tournament. So the Big Ten is just really good when it comes to hockey. But
yeah, as we already know,
yeah.
Minnesota's
one of the top conferences. I mean, Minnesota's on, there's a 4-way tie for 30, right?
Yeah.
And then Minnesota's at 43 points. 14-3-1. 14-3-1. That's insane.
That's insane.
I think they might be the number 1 team in the country, and if they're not, they're one of the top 3. And it's gonna be a slugfest in the Big Ten tournaments and in the NCAA's. And there's going to be some really exciting hockey going on. So it's a good time. Michigan's starting to hit their stride at the right time. And they're starting to play really good hockey. So I'm excited. We got Michigan State this coming weekend. And we're looking good. I mean, basketball's looking good. They get a big win over Ohio State. We'll see if they can keep that momentum going after a big win. And Michigan picks up 2 big wins over Wisconsin to keep themselves. Obviously, they need any win they can get. And they really need to get these big wins over Michigan State. Especially if they get 1 on the road and then 1 neutral site, that would push Michigan State down the standings pretty bad. So those would be 2. These are 2 really important games this weekend. But I think we can get into some NFL conference championship football. Let Kurt get his voice box going a little bit, and we can talk about the games that happened. January 29th.
Yep. Last Sunday, starting off with the San Francisco 49ers and Philadelphia Eagles game. It was pretty much on point with how I thought this game was going to go outside of the injuries to Purdy and the 49ers' fifth-string quarterback.
Yeah, you can't predict that, but Chris McCaffrey playing quarterback, that was dope.
We were pretty much on point with this one with Philly. Honestly, Philadelphia didn't really have to do a whole lot to win this game other than not beat themselves.
Yep.
They opened up the game with an opening drive touchdown. After a fourth and 6 conversion they looked like a catch in real time, but then after they showed replay, it showed that Devontae Smith didn't complete the catch.
And that was just a great play by Philly to recognize that, realize that, get their team to the line,
run a play. As soon as Devontae
got to the ground,
caught the ball, quote unquote, they ran up to the line real quick, and they didn't even give the Niners a chance to even challenge it.
They would have had to literally been right on top of it, and they weren't, and credit to Philly. I mean, it's a cheap way to get yards, but that's not their fault. I mean,
don't hate the player, hate the game.
Yeah, they were on the ball. It's the rule, and if San Fran, saw it or recognized it quick enough, they could have challenged, but credit to Philly. I think that it raised questions about Jalen Hurts and his level of play. I know that he didn't have to do much, but he didn't look the best in some of his throws. Who knows how much lingering injury he could still have going into the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And I think it raises some questions. But as for this one, they steamroll the Niners. It really was never in question to me, especially once you saw Purdy in that elbow. Once I realized he couldn't throw, I was like, this is.
Yeah, he got hurt on, I want to say, their first drive, maybe even second drive.
Yep.
San Fran was able to tie the game up at 7-7 early in the second quarter, like mid-second quarter. But after that, Philly just pretty much took over. They got that strip sack on Purdy where he injured his elbow was huge. San Francisco, I mean, I don't know. They just couldn't. It's hard to do anything when you're handcuffed like that.
Yeah, not having a quarterback. What do you expect?
You're down to your third string.
Yeah,
he gets hurt.
Yeah.
So you go to the fourth string, who is a practice squad player. He gets hurt, so now you have a hurt guy in there who can literally only hand the ball off.
Yeah.
So Eagles took advantage of the situation, and they pretty much just controlled the clock, ran the ball, and came out with a good win. Nonetheless, I mean, they made it this far, so 2 back-to-back blowout games in the playoffs.
They come out this new NFC, and I mean, good for them. You can't blame them for who they played. They beat who was in front of them, but I'm definitely more excited to talk about this next game.
Yeah, there's a lot more to say about the next one, so we'll hop right into it. So around 6:30, the Chiefs and Bengals played, with the Chiefs ultimately coming up with the win, 23-20. So I was wrong on that one. Picked the Bengals. And as far as this game goes, it was definitely a bit of a lower scoring game to start off. Eventually things got going in the second half. But, man, Cincy's offensive line, allowing 3 sacks in the first quarter, just drive killers. And Mahomes, he did what he does what he does, man. I mean, injury after injury. All of his receivers were pretty much injured, so all he had was Kelsey. He came up with another big touchdown on fourth down conversion. I gotta say, towards the end of that fourth quarter, NFL,
man,
just so many bad looks.
I get, a lot of it was imposed, but just some of those plays, it's legit, but it just looked so bad. There was just such a bad look, and then, almost all of the iffy 50-50 calls went the way of the Chiefs, and it's you're just painting a really bad picture, because you see it in real time. You see the ref come out and blow that third down dead. Regardless, I mean, the stadium's loud, crazy, they didn't hear it. I get their frustration, but it's just there was way too many of those coincidental calls and things that went the way of the Chiefs for the Bengals not to at least say something about it.
It was just so funny because they ran the play on third down. They didn't pick up the first down. The punt team's literally on the field.
And then the
refs have to call that, replay the previous third down.
Yeah.
Then they throw another flag allowing them to get the first down off
defensive holding.
Yeah, it was a defensive holding.
Yep.
And it's just such a tough game now playing as a defender with the quarterbacks trying to get as many yards as they can.
And then let's talk about that. Let's talk about that in real time. I get it's a bad shove. In real time, how are you supposed to look at the quarterback where he's going, focus on getting him out of bounds, watch his ankles? I get he was out of bounds, but it's so hard
such a split
in real time.
decision.
Like, you should, the refs should be able to sit there and look at each other and realize it's the last play of the game. It's in real time. He's not maliciously shoving him out of bounds to cause hurt, just trying to make sure he's out of bounds. It's such a because you got to think, and then to hear some of the Bengals, like, I get your emotions, the absolute highest, but to hear some of them Bengals players walking in the locker room, talking down on him for that play, like, you can only imagine what that guy's going through already. All right, bringing it back, AFC title game. 23-20. Chiefs over Bengals. Tight game. Really good game all the way through. Offenses got going. Really showcased what they could be. Hats off to the Bengals for an incredible season. They come up one game short of the Super Bowl after making it a season ago. And with the banged up O-line, hats off to them for almost dethroning the Chiefs at home. But they fall short, and it sets up Chiefs Eagles. But
yep.
On the side of Mahomes, he plays a really good game. He's obviously not 100%, and he's blown through it. But he made some good throws. Him and Travis Kelce hooked up. He just did enough.
Yeah. Sorry, hard to beat him when you're throwing 2 picks from Burrow.
The picks from Burrow, yeah, really killed him. You really can't give the Chiefs more than one, and you're really asking for it, I think. Yeah, I mean, Valdez-Scantling goes for 116. Burrow 326 through the air. Chiefs Eagles, that's going to be a really exciting Super Bowl.
Yeah, we'll probably talk about that later on this week.
Yeah, for sure. Let's end it off here with a little bit of NFL news. We got some coordinators shifting around. What else? We got trades. We got a coach trade picks.
Yeah.
Weird, So let's get into it. Kurt, what do you have on the latest NFL news?
So earlier this week, the New Orleans Saints traded Sean Payton to Denver for some draft capital. Looks like the Saints will receive the Denver Broncos' first-round pick this year, which is way late in the draft.
Yeah.
Plus the Broncos' second-round pick next year. For that, the Broncos get Sean Payton and a 2024 third-round pick. Pretty interesting he decided to go to Denver.
Yeah,
really interesting choice.
Right. I think that if anybody can resurrect and make something of Russell Wilson in the Denver Broncos, it's Sean Payton. And I think it's a really challenging spot for him with some of the more, I don't know, I guess I'll just say appealing jobs open with maybe like Dallas. Denver's an interesting spot. I like it for him though. I think he'll do well. I think, like I said, I think that if anybody can make do with what Denver has to what they're locked into with Russell Wilson and bad contracts like that, I think Sean Payton can work his magic a little bit and try to
get the most of what he can.
Yeah, out of Russell and that. So
definitely a good move by the Broncos.
Yeah, they got to give up first, so it's good on the Saints. They find a way to get back in the first round because they definitely have a whole bunch of needs. But now it's like, what are the Saints going to do? Back end of the first round, who knows? But
I think it's a good trade for both teams.
Right. I think it was necessary for the Saints. They at least get something out of their old coach who did so much for them. He does them one more favor and gives them a first-round pick on his way out. And, for the side of Denver, it's you get a winning coach that knows how to win, that's played a whole lot of winning football, and
offensive guru.
And an offensive guru that can take Russell, and I'm sure he's going to make something of that offense because he's got a lot of weapons at receiver, some good running backs, and he can make something of Russell Wilson. So
yeah,
I'm expected to see the Broncos fight. I don't know how much they'll compete, but they'll fight in that division. I think for sure now with Sean Payton at that.
Have to.
Yeah, but that's really interesting to really kick off the off season.
Yeah, that one happened, and the Dallas Cowboys fired Kellen Moore, who was their offensive coordinator. And the Los Angeles Chargers went ahead and picked him up, which I thought was a pretty good move by the Chargers, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I didn't really mind Kellen Moore's scheme. I thought that he had some really. I thought he ran the ball well. I thought he used Zeke and Tony Pollard. To be honest, a pretty good complementary. Like they both got their touches. They both got their time to shine. So I didn't mind him. I think that he needed a different style and a different team, and I don't think he was getting done with that team. But with the new fresh Herbert and electric Chargers offense with Eckler, I'm excited to see what Kellen Moore can do.
I don't know why Dallas got rid of him. He was one of the...
Yeah.
They were one of the top offenses when you look at the stats across the board. Points per game. He got the most out of Dak. I'm sure some play calls might have been questionable, maybe at worst, but, only so much you can do when your quarterback's turning it over every game.
I'm sure Jerry Jones just wanted to do something to change it up because he knew the fans would be mad.
Yep.
But he didn't want to fire McCarthy.
This was an easy scapegoat.
He didn't want to fire McCarthy yet, so his scapegoat was to fire the OC and pretty much put the blame on him, where it really probably shouldn't have gone. Nonetheless, they hire Schottenheimer. Well, I think
Ryan Schottenheimer.
Schottenheimer? Yeah, where was he from? I didn't know.
You know what? You know who that guy is?
No.
That's the guy who called Seattle to pass the ball on the 2-yard line.
Oh, man. Oh.
If I'm not mistaken.
So, Dallas, that's your Kellen Moore replacement? If you're going to fire somebody who, like you said, statistically had one of the best ranked offenses, how do you go out and get it? What was he doing? Was he an OC somewhere? They gave up Kellen Moore, who had a highly, highly ranked. I don't really even think about it like that. He had a highly, highly ranked offense.
Yeah, they were one of the best in the league.
He gets fired, and I had no idea. I hadn't even heard the name before.
I honestly...
I expected somebody of decent high profile.
He was in there when Seattle called that play.
What was his last job?
Looks like last year he was the Jaguars passing game coordinator in 2021 with Urban Meyer.
So that's a real question mark. But you also know that, I guess, Mike McCarthy...
Says he was a team consultant for the Cowboys during the 2021 season. I don't know.
I also know Mike McCarthy most likely called the plays, so it probably really doesn't matter.
He is now. That's why they got rid of Kellen Moore.
Okay, that makes sense.
So
he's really just like another...
Yeah, he's not really... He's not really...
So he's really not important.
No.
So that wasn't... Okay, but... That is...
He's just the messenger.
You get rid of top-ranked guys so you can have Mike McCarthy call the offense? Like,
I don't know about that one.
All right, Jerry. That's what we're doing? All right, Jerry.
But...
Whatever you say.
Nonetheless, just a few of the off-season things going on before things get really heated on later.
Ooh, another one I wanted to add, I guess. We can stick football, but go college. Tommy Rees, Notre Dame's OC, goes to Alabama. You hear about that?
No, I did not.
Wow. Yeah. Notre Dame's offensive coordinator leaves and goes to... But what's crazy is I didn't view Tommy Rees as that great of an OC, especially at Notre Dame.
No.
So, for him to go and get to go on Saban's staff, that's crazy. That was pretty jaw-dropping to me that he was who Saban picked.
Out of everyone, he probably could have had.
He could have got for OC. I was like, really, Saban? I was like, all right. I mean, you're the guru here, not me. But he's not who I thought you were gonna pick.
No, definitely not.
But that was so that was something. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. There's All-Star breaks going on with the hockey. That stuff went on over the weekend. All-Star weekend, that went on. That was cool. Jerseys were cool. And,
yeah,
I don't know. I don't think there was much more this week. Just getting ready for the Super Bowl. Watching college basketball and college sports to try to pass the time. And, yeah. Getting through the winter months. Getting ready for warm weather at least. So,
heck yeah.
Keep trucking through it. Keep going.
That's all I need to do.
Yep. We only got, it's really so close to being over now. So, another week in sports is in the books, and yeah, I think that'll do it.
For sure.
Peace.
Peace out.